What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this holy mess. Now, I wanted to talk about this, and it is so funny how sometimes you might speak about somebody that you haven't heard about or even thought about in some time, and then right after that happens, then something pops up about this person. And I tell you no lie when I say that my hubby and I, we went out to grab some dinner on Sunday, and just out of the blue, he asked me, he was like, because I don't remember exactly who we were talking about. I think we were talking about fraudulent preachers. For whatever reason, the conversation came up, and we were just talking about it. And he said, whatever happened to Rod Parsley? Well, actually, he didn't say his name because he couldn't remember his name. My husband isn't into all that stuff. And honestly, neither am I. But I know some of the names and whatever. But he said, whatever happened to that guy? Remember that white preacher that used to be yelling and screaming and acting all wild and all that other stuff? And then I said, Rod Parsley? He said, yeah, that's the one. I tell you no lie. And then maybe a day or two later, I heard about Rod Parsley going off, this audio that was leaked of him going off on his staff. Now, I want to play this clip, and I'm going to share my thoughts about this. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it.
Who called me? You didn't.
Ryan called me. I was in the meeting. I'm sorry.
Here's not we.
Okay.
I know who called me because I told them to.
Yes.
Because I knew you wouldn't. And you didn't.
But we're ready for baptism.
No, you're not.
I can. Well,
No, you're not.
Well, let me walk you through.
It will take me 10 minutes to prove to you you're not.
Okay, then. Whatever you say, sir.
Are you being smart with me?
No, I'm not. I'm saying.
I'm going to pause it for a moment there. The guy, which clearly this audio, he had it edited and whatever so that people, I guess, couldn't tell who he was. But I'm quite sure Rod Parsley, I don't know how big his staff is, but I'm assuming he would know who that other person was. But either way, the guy sounded like he was over it, but he was trying to be this, I don't know, good Christian, good employee, all of the above. I don't know. But he sounded like he was over it. And he was like, oh, whatever you say, sir. And he's like, are you getting smug with me? I mean, that would have been a moment that I was like, yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you where you could take these baptismal pools and but listen, that's me. The nerve. Are you getting smug with me? Like, what was he going to do? Haul off and slap him?
No.
I'm not being smug. No, I'm not.
Don't.
I'm not.
One more person grins at me, one more person smirks at me in this room, it will be the last one of you that does it. The money that is being spent in this room is obscene for what I'm getting. Obscene. I hire people to run entire sections of this place, not hold their hand through a baptism. Much less what I just went through. Are you ever going to learn not to backtalk me? Because it's been a year and you still haven't learned. You didn't call me, did you?
No, I did not.
Right. But you just said you did.
No, I said I was in the meeting.
No, that you said that the third time. No, because not everybody, constantly wants to argue with you.
I don't want to argue with you. I'm not here to argue with you.
I would hope not.
I'm not. 100% I'm not, sir. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to get the job done to help you in this vision. That's why I'm here. I'm not doing anything, sir.
How much time did you spend on this Saturday?
On which part?
Any of it.
I don't know.
Did you spend an hour?
At least 2 or 3. I did spend all Saturday. And I spent hours on Sunday. I didn't leave here until Friday night at 8 p.m. Sunday I worked. Yesterday I worked. I'm not trying to, you asked me when I'm working on it. So.
Sunday at 8 p.m.?
No, Friday 8 p.m. On the Friday 8 p.m. Saturday I worked 2 hours.
Friday 8 p.m.? So what?
No, I'm just asking you a question. I won't even talk.
Do you want rewarding?
No, I don't want any rewards. I don't want anything. I'm just here to do my work with you. That's it.
Pastor, no one spent the amount of time that what your email indicated you should spend. None of us.
Want me to read it again?
No, you don't have to, sir. I have it.
Everybody else got it?
Yes, sir.
Maybe he's the only one, for whatever reason, speaking up. Because I can go around the room and ask you how much time the rest of you spend on it. Would you like me to do that? Anyone? Anyone? When you start listing out hours, you're on the wrong side of the track.
I'm not listening. I'm not doing that, sir. That's not what
You just did it!
That's what I was trying to do. Pastor, I'm not trying to do that.
He was attempting to answer your question of time spent. Again, this is just move on. It's just move on.
I'm so weary with it. I can't live. I'm so weary with it.
I understand. You are where you are. Just try to keep living.
Megan and Lori called a meeting on Sunday because I directed them to. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
I sat down and wrote this. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Why should I have to do that?
You should not have to do that.
Add up the salaries in this room.
Like you said, it's obscene.
Beyond obscene. So we're either going to perform to that level or we're going to do something else. All right. I'm ready to hear about baptism. Thank you.
Do you want to start with marketing or follow up or?
What I wanted to know is how many of these 18 people that this other so-called department here has made such a god-awful screwed up. How could you plan anything so stupid?
Listen, what you hear is the voice and frustrations of somebody who, I guess, claims that they were called by God and chosen and they're running this ministry, but it's expensive. I think tithes and offerings are down. And when you heard him mention, add up the salaries in this room that I'm paying to you all, and this, whatever it was, they were talking about baptism and marketing and promotion. Like, this is a business. And I get it. Churches, they need money. They got to keep the lights on. They got to keep the water running. You know, you got bills. But I believe this is the built up, pent up frustrations of a man, like many. He ain't the only one. This is just one that we caught on audio going off on the staff. Not behind their backs or anything like that. But again, this is just the marks of a man who I believe has, like many others, used the church's manipulative tactics to get people to give money. And then when we went through the C word several years ago and went through it for a few years, a lot of people stopped going and giving like they were prior to the C word happening, okay? So every freaking dime and dollar is counting at this point in time. He's probably had to cut back on a few of the extras that he was, being able to enjoy, like the jets and, all that type of stuff that people like him enjoyed over the years, but would use the manipulative tactics of God said, if you give, it's just ridiculous. And unfortunately, a lot of people are still wrapped up in that, but a lot of people have woken up in the wake of the C word that happened, and they stayed home. They might have attended church online, but they started reading the word for themselves. They started realizing that a lot of the things that they were being told and sold were not real, because a lot of people were being scared into doing a lot of the things that they were doing, such as going to these particular churches, such as paying tithes and offerings. I have no problem with people giving, but it's supposed to be, because the scripture says God loves a cheerful giver. But a lot of these churches, they would use the scare tactics and the fear tactics of reading certain scriptures. If you don't give, then you will be cursed with a curse, and this and that and the other. And then you look around at a lot of people who don't even go to church, and it's like, well, why are they living like they're living? And I'm sitting here struggling, and I'm giving all my money to you, to this church. And then I'm still doing it because I'm afraid that if I don't, then I'm going to be cursed with a curse. And I can't even afford to keep my bills caught up. It's backwards. It's just really disgusting when I know and have seen a lot of these things go down. So to hear him getting frustrated and angry and yelling at these people, I'm like, I don't care. But there's a little bit more. Let me go ahead and play this clip for you now.
Mixtures in the right place for the camera shots.
Yes, sir.
Could we wake up?
Yes, sir.
And you people want to go to Israel and do a shoot? You can't do one on the property. Why am I bringing volunteers out here to do y'all's job? My granddad died last Saturday. Don't you lift your voice to me when you stay home. You want to go home? Yes or no? Okay. About this for this morning. And they only told us to do this part over here. We weren't going to do it with all these. Oh, I know. One man, all we to learn a power.
Okay, so what do we know what entrance that we talked about and block it off?
Did you get your job?
Is this the entrance you're saying block off?
You don't know nothing.
Is this the entrance? No. I wouldn't. No, I would leave it alone.
I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. Wait,
It might have been a little bit inaudible for you guys, but I'm going to actually, because this is so gross, but he was yelling on the grounds of the property at the staff as he was going off about these baptismal spaces or whatever these things were. I honestly don't even know. But he's yelling and berating the team, the staff. And, by the way, I'm assuming that was his dog he had out there. He has like a big German Shepherd. So it's like, is that your protection against one of these staff members possibly going off on you physically because you're berating them? But he's like, why do I bring volunteers out here to do y'all's job? And the staff member said, my granddad died last Saturday. So pretty much he's like, I'm out here working my butt off. I had a family member that passed away. I don't really need this. And then Rod Parsley, he responds to the guy and says, don't you lift your voice at me or you can go home. But it's okay for him to lift his voice at the person. And then he's like, do you want to go home? Yes or no? And the guy was like, yes. And he was like, okay. And he said something else. I don't know, because it was inaudible. I know he might have said, so get the F out then. I don't know. But, I mean, he might as well have. But the staff member responded to him and said, and they only told us to do this part over here. So I guess he was telling them, like, what are you yelling at me for? Because we're only doing what we were directed to do. And I don't know if the person said, like, why am I doing that? And he said, because it's your job. Like, he was yelling at the guy, yelling at the staff. And then the staff member walks out. and he's talking, saying some things, and he said, I'm going to effing kill somebody. And it's not funny, but I understand, because it's like, it's only so much somebody can take. And for you being this supposed leader of this church, thinking that it's okay for you to be going off on this, I don't care if you were paying each person $100,000 a year. Respect is due to the dog that he had out there, that German Shepherd that he had out there protecting his, his person, to make sure that nobody ran up on him. I'm assuming, like I said, like, why do you have this big German Shepherd out there? But to hear him going off, this is the frustrations of a man who has been used to bringing in a certain amount of money, and I believe a lot of those dollars has went down, and it's just not working out the way that it was flowing prior to the C word happening. But if these people are truly called by God, chosen by God, then I believe he would have prepared you for it. But it's like, see, that's the lies and the hypocrisy that comes from a lot of these church leaders, because he, like a number of them, were a lot of those ones that would be on those evangelical shows, whatever, the televangelist type shows on TV, where they would be saying, God said, if you sow a seed of $500 right now, not tomorrow, not in the next 5 minutes, but right now, then you know what I mean? And it's lies. It's just manipulation tactics to get people to give their money. It's not about souls. It's not about the spirits of people. It's not about salvation. It's about saving themselves. So what you hear is the frustrations of a man who has built up this career in this business off of the emotional tactics that has been used by way of the Bible, and manipulating scriptures and saying that God told you, to get people to do the things that they were doing with their money so that he can have the business that he had, which is that World Harvest Church, and live the lifestyle that he was living personally. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share that. You can let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.